This game is called Love Me Tender Koyoi bar Alba Day, and it's a really simplistic visual novel format game. The only real special thing about it is that it was it kind of specifically marketed toward people who prefer older characters in their games, because the youngest person in the cast is the protagonist, who is, I think, 38. Supposed to be 38. He looks like 16 in this picture, I swear to God. And the other two are respectively, I think, 44 and 47. That particular sort of thing appeals to me, so I had kind of high hopes for this game, but it really wasn't anything special. The first thing I did notice when I started playing it was the BGM. I actually really do like the cheesy lounge piano. What can I say? I like it. It's got some nice piano music if you like that sort of thing. So anyway, there's nothing really all that complicated about this game, and not really all that much to explain. If you've ever played a visual novel, you know what this is like. You just click through. The game is fairly cheap. It had a list price of like 3,000 yen, somewhere around there, 31.50 with tax, something like that. And it's very, very short. Even the gallery, there's only 3 pages, and they're not even 3 full pages. I think there's like 20-something CGs total. Only 3 characters. A lot of times games like this will have more characters than that, more options for you to choose from. Anyway, this is the protagonist. Sorry, excuse me. And his name is Tachibana Yukihiko. He happens to be a pianist, and he's currently playing in Koichiro's bar. This is Koichiro. I think Omi Koichiro is his name. He's 47, and he runs the bar Alba, where Yukihiko plays piano in the lounge. He's also the bartender, as well as the owner. And I guess the way the story goes is that one day, while it was raining, he happened to pick Yukihiko up, like, off the streets. And they've been living together since. And they're in a relationship. So it was kind of different for them to be already in a relationship. Because most BL games center around you developing a relationship with a character. And in this one, they've had an established relationship. The other character here is Ito Ryousuke. He is 44, and I was trying to translate his profile, and I was having a hard time. I could get some of the words, but not the exact context. He's an ex-boyfriend of Yukihiko's. He refers to Yukihiko as Yuki, and Yuki calls him Ryo. I can't talk right. Ryo. Even though his name is Ryousuke. So obviously they're close because they have shorthand names for one another. I'm not sure about the terms of their breakup. Had something to do with marriage proposal or possibility of marriage. I think it's something like he had a chance to marry Yukihiko and didn't, maybe? I really don't know. The kanji was confusing my brain really badly. Maybe if I have another chance to look at things. I think he's the president of a company. The term was shacho, so that's company president. But anyway, they broke up at some point. And in the story, when you start, basically, it starts out with Yukihiko and Koichiro and their cat, Unikum. Unikum is a liquor of some sort. It's a weird name for a cat, but apparently it's like something Koichiro likes, and it's a rare liquor, so they named the cat Unikum. And you know, while Yukiko's at the bar, Ryousuke, I cannot pronounce Ryousuke today, comes along, and apparently he had met Koichiro at a glassware show. I mean, these guys are party animals, apparently. They go to glassware conventions. I mean, I could kind of understand Koichiro because he owns a bar, so he needs to buy glassware. But a glassware convention? Maybe I'm totally off base here. But my main beef, there's a couple beefs I have with the game. It's too short. There's really no plot. There's maybe a dozen choices for dialogue in the game total, and they're all very obvious. There's one option, and then there's a second option. And one option will always be the Koichiro option, and then one option will also be otherwise be the Yo option. And they're pretty blatant about which one is for Ryousuke and which one is for Koichiro. It's not rocket science. But the problem is that to get certain endings, you need to pick a very specific order of choices. And it's kind of difficult to tell. Like, for the ending where you end up with Koichiro, of course you have to pick the options that would, you know, imply that he cares about Koichiro. And if you want to pick the ending with Ryousuke, you would pick the options that kind of blow Koichiro off, and, you know, he winds up with Ryousuke. So, it's pretty self-explanatory in that way, but then there's an ending where they have a threesome, which I really didn't care for either. Then there's also an ending where Koichiro and Ryousuke wind up together, and I actually liked that one better. It was kind of entertaining. It was a little funny. But yeah, that's about the gist of it. And one of my problems with this game is that they reuse the same fucking CGs over and over and over and over again. Like, the same CG of two of the characters kissing or something. They'll just use the same one for multiple scenes over and over and over again, and it's really irritating, whereas most games will at least have something slightly different about, you know, those CGs, or different CGs for different scenes. This one just keeps reusing the same ones, and it's really cheap. It's by VividColor, who is well known for making the Silver Chaos games, and also Hanamachi Monogatari, which all have really nice art. And the art in here is nice, but it's not that great. It's a little unpolished. I also have a beef with the character designs. They look way too young for what their ages are supposed to be. Koichiro does not look like he's about to turn 50. Yukihiko does not look 38. I'm sorry. He looks like a 20-year-old woman. I can maybe buy Ryousuke being 44. It seems like what they did was just kind of add little lines around the eyes of the characters and around their necks to make it look like they're older, you know, to add the illusion of wrinkles or something. And they also made all the characters' body types look very thin and fragile looking, and I don't like it. I really don't. It doesn't make them look aged, it just makes them look stupid. Their ribs stick out, and it's not appealing at all. So I was a little bit disappointed. So that's about all I can say. It's worth a shot if you really don't mind it being adequate. It's not a bad game, but it's adequate. There's nothing special about it. And when all the other games that I really love have things that are, you know, very unique or engaging gameplay, like Ore no Shita de Agake or Kichiku Megane, or even Zetai Fukujimere, at least it has some, you know, variety to what you have to do rather than just sitting there clicking through shit. So that is my impression of this game, and Take it for what it's worth.